part of the powerful Habsburg Empire. Then it became a Soviet satellite state shortly after World War II. In October of 1956, Hungary tried to declare its neutrality and institute democratic reforms. Well, less than 2 weeks later, the Soviets launched a massive invasion and crushed the rebellion. Hungary's reformist leader was executed, countless sympathizers were thrown in jail, and about 200,000 Hungarians fled the country. But conflict, unfortunately, has never been a stranger in Hungary. And just north of Budapest is a region known as the Danube Bend, where the legacy of war is as old as its now peaceful hills. Under the Roman Empire, this region of the Danube marked the final frontier of what was considered the civilized world. As a result, it was both a strategically vital and a hotly contested territory. This 14th century palace at Visegrad was once the summer home of the Hungarian kings. Like many other ruined castles and citadels in the area, it bears witness to many brave attempts by the Hungarians to protect their strongholds from the Ottoman Turks, and perhaps to immortalize themselves as well. Over the centuries, this was the route which had to be traveled by every eager pilgrim or hopeful conqueror. Then they came by barge and caravan. Today, hydrofoils and ferry boats carry modern pilgrims from Budapest. The first of the Danube Bend villages, about 12 miles upriver from Budapest, is Szentendre. Originally settled by Greek and Serbian refugees, the town still conveys a pure 18th century charm. The cobblestone main square embodies the spirit and style of its age. The spires of 7 Baroque churches cut an impressive skyline. Szentendre's beauty has helped make it the most thriving artist colony in Hungary, as well as a delightful sanctuary from the intensity of Budapest. A bit further upriver, about 30 miles from Budapest, is the illustrious and historic town of Esztergom. It was here that Hungary's first king, Stephen I, was born and later crowned on Christmas Day in the year 1000. The town became the capital of Hungary in the 10th century, as well as the cradle of Hungarian Christianity. On this bluff, a great dome cathedral was built in the 19th century. It stands on the site of the original 11th century basilica erected by the canonized King Stephen I. The Cathedral of Esztergom is still the largest church in all of Hungary. Its enormous interior is so overpowering with its soaring spaces and superb frescoes that it's often referred to as the Vatican of Hungary. Time is magically and powerfully compressed here, where ancient Roman ruins lie beside the 19th century cathedral. From this vantage point above the winding Danube, the great river seems to deserve every word of praise it's ever received. Hungary has no seacoast, but nature has compensated by giving her the largest lake in Central Europe. Lake Balaton lies 62 miles southwest of Budapest. In spring and autumn, visitors drive along the enchanted shoreline which circles the lake with orchards, quaint villages, and old churches.
Van a víz, jobban a víz, hívadó hajó, hajó, megkértem őt, jöjjön velem, jöjjön velem, sétáljon velem, vár ránk apa.
While the words may seem foreign, the melody these Hungarian students are singing may sound familiar. It's The Banks of the Ohio, a traditional American folk song.
Jobban a víz, hívadó hajó.
It wasn't until the 19th century that another traditional American pastime, swimming, began to gain favor among Hungarians. That was when Lake Balaton began to attract vacationing Hungarians and foreign tourists alike to its warm and inviting waters. In summertime, sailboats and windsurfers filled the lake. During lazy hours on a boat here, time can easily seem suspended or dissolved entirely. In fact, it was here at Lake Balaton that Beethoven composed the Moonlight Sonata, no doubt inspired by its sublime serenity. Just 4 miles from the western rim of Lake Balaton is Lake Havis. The spa at Havis has earned the reputation as the most famous in all of Hungary. It isn't difficult to understand why. Although much smaller than Lake Balaton, the lake here is unique in its own right. It's the largest warm water lake in Europe and the second largest in the world after one in New Zealand. Halfway between Budapest and Lake Balaton is a town that's often overlooked. With a history that goes back more than 1,000 years, Székesfehérvár claims to be the most ancient village in Hungary. It supposedly was founded by the 10th century Prince Géza. Just a few steps from the main square is the Garden of Ruins. Bigger than a football field, it may well be considered the Hungarian equivalent of the Roman Forum. This Roman-style arcade protects the garden on 3 sides. Within the arcade's walls are impressive relics of sculptures from the 11th to the 15th centuries. The Garden of Ruins is on the same site where the 11th century Basilica and Royal Coronation Church once stood. Over a period of 5 centuries, some 35 coronations took place here. This imposing bishop's palace was built following the fierce Turkish occupation. It was built at the turn of the 18th century with stones from the ruined 11th century basilica. Today it houses a priceless library of medieval manuscripts and rare books. Its 40,000 volumes include invaluable codices and nearly 500 books printed before the year 1500. Most of the town was rebuilt in the 18th century after the Turks destroyed the medieval buildings. Motorized traffic is forbidden in Székesfehérvár's Old Town Center, making it easy to peacefully imagine drifting off into another age. One of the great traditions of the Hungarian plain are the cowboys known as ciscos. Originally, they roamed the plains like their American counterparts. They still entertain folks throughout the continent with precision equestrian skills that are passed down from father to son. When A World Away continues, we'll take you to the vineyards of Hungary to sample a specialty called bull's blood.